Wesleyan. Right now, we ask you to join us for our Honoring America with our national anthem. Our national anthem as we get underway with day number 2 of the NAIA Division II Men's National Basketball Championships. Indiana Wesleyan is the number 7 seed in the tournament. As we mentioned, Greg Tonical is their head coach. 25-6 their record coming in. They were the regular season champions of a conference that's been in existence for a while in a different form. Originally the Mid-Central Conference. They changed names this year and became the Crossroads League, and Indiana Wesleyan was the regular season champion of that conference. Their starting lineup today, as they are dressed in the home white with red trim uniforms. Taylor Schoen, who is a 6'4 senior from Oxford, Indiana. DJ Bettner, who is a 5'11 sophomore from Richfield, Ohio. Zach Vanderwater is a 6'5 sophomore from Warsaw, Indiana. Patrick Hopkins, 6'7 senior from Kokomo, Indiana. And Jordan Widener, a 6'2 junior from Danville, Indiana. The Lourdes University Grey Wolves, as we mentioned earlier, only their 3rd year of play. They were one of the top 4 teams in the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference, again losing in the semifinals of that tournament, but that victory getting them to the semifinals got them a high enough ranking as they were actually the last at-large team selected to be in the tournament. But here they are for the 2nd year in a row. Starting Remy Florima, he is a 5'6 senior from North Lauderdale, Florida. Evan Butler, 6'2 junior from Akron, Ohio. Alex Davis, 6'4 senior from Cleveland, Ohio. Corey Harvey, 6'6 senior from Hilliard, Ohio. And Darrell Sutherland, a 6'4 senior from Toronto, Ontario. Andre Smith, the head coach of the Lourdes University Grey Wolves. Again, they are 22-9 coming into this year. Right now, they are honoring the champions of characters. Jake Dupree, the winner for Lourdes University. And Taylor Schoen, the winner for Indiana Wesleyan. Well, Perry, I think as we get into this particular ball game, I think what we're going to see is, you know, even though we had both the teams who played yesterday kind of got off to a rough start, you have 2 teams here that have good recent experience in the tournament, and I think you're going to see these teams come out flying this morning.
And I don't think, like you said, experience, the early morning start, you know, sometimes it gets to a bit. The experience that you're talking about a lot of times will step over and pay for. And they know what happened yesterday and how important it is to get off and get going in games like this.
Both teams taking their time again. Lourdes University, the Grey Wolves, actually in, I want to call that gold with black and white trim. Would that be not the best in colors in the world, but that's what I'm going to go with.
It's almost like a burnt orange.
Maybe
like
a burnt orange.
Like a rust color. Yeah. It's burnt orange. That's University of Texas colors, too, from NCAA.
And for folks that don't know, Perry Phillips is from Oklahoma, so that's why there was a hint of a little bit of hesitation when he made that comment. So
I will not hold it against Lourdes whatsoever.
Okay, so we're going to go with gold then. And the tip is in the air. And controlled by Indiana Wesleyan, as they'll have the ball first to start the ball game here. We hope you enjoy the action of the NAIA Division II Men's National Basketball Championships Day 2, Round 1. And right off the bat, a 2 drops down for DJ Bettinger as Bettinger knocks it down from just inside the arc. Bettinger is a sophomore who puts Indiana Wesleyan up 2-0. Lourdes with the basketball around the perimeter. Going into the corner, Davis. Davis back up top, it goes to Butler. Butler will back out, and now will make a charge to the basket. Right side, shot up, and good as Lourdes gets on the board as Florima knocks it down from large range. Big basket for Lourdes earlier to get on track and get going. Indiana Wesleyan attacking the basket quickly. Cross-court pass on the baseline. In the corner it goes Vanderwater, and the ball is going to be lost out of bounds. It's knocked out after Hopkins gets his hands on it, and the ball will stay with Indiana Wesleyan.
Just to be fair to Lourdes, their official school colors are terracotta and black.
Terracotta and black. Okay, so corrected. And the terracotta and black-clad Lourdes University Gray Wolves have the basketball, trying to extend a 3-2 lead. We are just underway in day number 2 of the NAIA Division II Men's National Basketball Championship. Lourdes with a turnover here as they try to throw it inside. Davis overshoots the target, and Indiana Wesleyan will get it back. Looks like Lourdes opening up at a man-to-man defense. Cross-court, shot for 3, and the lead is short. And rebound comes down to Corey Harvey of the Gray Wolves. So Indiana Wesleyan misfiring on their last 2 possessions. Lob in, intercepted. Indiana Wesleyan now picks off the ball as getting in the passing lane was Vanderwater as they tried to lob it inside. Now we played 2 minutes, still 3-2 Lourdes. Left side shown, throws it in. Shot up, no good. That shot blocked. That was close to a goaltending call, but it wasn't. Thought it was on the way down, but...
Well, I thought it came off the backboard first, which would automatically make it goaltending.
But the no call, and Lourdes will keep the basketball. But it was a great block by the Lourdes player that had it in there. And I think that was Harvey that got a piece of it inside.
Well, he timed it very well.
Harvey has it at the top of the key. Shot clock down to 10. Back up top it goes to Butler. Butler shot for 3. That one off the mark right side. They grab the rebound though. Davis has it. Here's Lourdes to the basket. Fadeaway jump shot will be no good. But then the ball saved from going out of bounds by Indiana Wesleyan, but right to Lourdes, and now they'll get a chance to reset. .17 minutes to go first half. Drive to the basket by Harvey. His jumper will go in as it looked like it was too hard, but Harvey got a favorable bounce, but a quick basket the other way. Just as we look down, Jordan Winder runs the other end for Indiana Wesleyan. Boy, you can't really waste your time doing anything because Indiana Wesleyan came right back with a basket after Lourdes took a quick 5-2 lead. Now here's a 3 ball. Short from the top of the key by Florima. They made one a few moments ago. Now Indiana Wesleyan shooting for the lead. On the drive, Winder loses the ball. It's knocked out of bounds. George Jones IV will be in the ball game now for Indiana Wesleyan, the first substitute of the ball game for the Wildcats. 5-4, Lourdes with the lead. Indiana Wesleyan basketball. Schoen with the basketball. Goes top of the key to Winder. Winder lobs it inside. Pass is knocked away and picked up by the Gray Wolves. Davis comes down with it. 16 minutes to go first half. 5-4 the score. Butler across midcourt. Goes left side to Harvey. Harvey on the baseline. This is Jerome Talton who checked in. His shot is missed. And rebound to Indiana Wesleyan. Down the sideline it goes to Weiner. Weiner drives in. Shot counted and one. As Weiner would not be denied going to the basket. Harvey was trying to get in position, but frankly, Weiner just going to the basket never gave him a chance to get set.
Well, we've seen Weiner get on the break twice. Once the shot goes up and the rebound comes out, as soon as his team secures it, he is running down the right sideline, and his teammates are just finding him on that break.
Trying for the three-point play. It's up and good. So Weiner with 5. And again, the foul on Harvey, not only his first foul. And that gives the Wildcats a 7-5 lead. 15:35 to go here in the first half. Davis drives to the baseline. Bounces it back outside. Talton has it. Passes it off to Butler. Butler tries to get through the defense, and he's going to be fouled. Going inside, Indiana Wesleyan not happy with the call as they thought it was a pretty clean steal, but what happened is Butler split a double team, and it ended up being Weiner that grabbed part of the arm. Gray Wolves to inbounds. Davis in the corner. Over to Butler. Back out Davis. In with the foul, a new shot clock. So the Gray Wolves with plenty of time. Sutherland on the baseline now goes into the lane. Hook shot is up and will be no good. And the ball out of bounds. Last touch by the Gray Wolves, and it will go back to Indiana Wesleyan.
Boy, he did everything except finish. What a nice move there. That big jab step with that left foot got him into the middle of the lane, and an open look at it. He just didn't get it to drop.
He actually stepped off the baseline a couple of ways to get the angle and square it up. It was a very nice move, but didn't finish the shot. Indiana Wesleyan 7-5 lead and the ball. Full court pressure by the Gray Wolves. Down court it goes to Southern, or down court it goes to Weiner. Weiner gives up the ball to Hopkins, and Hopkins is fouled on the baseline, and that will be a foul on Jerome Talton. Second team foul now on the Gray Wolves. 14:52 to go first half. 7-5 Indiana Wesleyan. First free throw is up, no good, short by Hopkins. As we go through the game today, we will let you know about what happened here yesterday. If you want to know why Indiana Wesleyan may look a little bit wary being a seeded team, they have good reason, because the seeded teams did not fare well at all here yesterday. Hopkins make one of two. 8-5 Indiana Wesleyan with the lead. Lourdes with the ball. Harvey dribbles to the top of the key, to the free throw line. They'll throw it inside. Ball tipped, but picked up in the corner. Now to go into Talton. Talton trapped in the lane, goes back outside. Remy Florima back in the ball game. He'll try a three with the shot clock winding down and knocks it down. Remy Florima ties the game at 8 at 14:20 to go here in the first half. Drive to the basket by Hopkins. Kicks it back out. In the corner now. Roll it back around the perimeter as we get the shot clock down under 15. At the free throw line. Shot is blocked, picked up by Indiana Wesleyan. Now a drive to the basket. Shot out on the kick out is no good. That one missed by Vanderwater, but Indiana Wesleyan gets the long rebound. George Jones IV had it. Now they'll throw it around and get it back down low. Hopkins wants to post up. Can't. Kicks out for the three ball. It's in. Aaron Martin off the bench for Indiana Wesleyan. Very good recognition that time by Hopkins inside that he had no shot, so kicked it to the open player.
And that open player was open, had a nice look at three and was able to square up and actually take his time on the shot before they closed in.
11-8, Indiana Wesleyan in front. 13:15 to go in the first half. Hopkins inside, or Harvey inside, can't get the shot to fall. Rebound is put back up and in. Ike Mason. How in the world Ike got that one in, I don't know, because he looked like he was about to fall down, and somehow just threw it to the basket and it went home.
He did it. He did it in a bunch of traffic as well.
11-10. Basket good, but wave it off as a player control foul called on Aaron Martin, and I think it was Mason that was down there setting up to take the charge. We'll have a timeout on the court. Timeout with 12:45 to go in the first half. And our score, Indiana Wesleyan 11 and Lourdes 10 from the NAIA Division II Men's National Basketball Championship. You can't see it or feel it, but you know and value when someone shows it. Character, it's at the heart of who we are. Learn more about the NAIA Champions of Character program at championsofcharacter.org. And don't forget to check out more exciting action of other NAIA National Championships by going to www.naia.org. Division II Women's Basketball National Championship underway in Sioux City, Iowa. Men's and Women's Division I National Championships coming up next week. Go to naia.org for more information. And again, if you were with us yesterday, you know that the action here at the tournament yesterday was definitely exciting. Not necessarily as seeded. But still a great day of basketball, and we're looking for another one here. Lourdes with the basketball, trailing by 1, 11-10, 12:30 to go here in the first half. Florima had it. Now right side it goes. Ron Dukes dribbling around, goes right side. Here's a shot for three. Harvey knocks it down as he hits the tray from 23, and that gives Lourdes the lead back at 13-11. Kylan Douglas has the ball, gives it up. Now baseline. Here's a shot for just inside the arc, no good. That would miss by Jones, and Lourdes with the rebound. 13-11, Lourdes in front. Florima holds on to the ball, being guarded by Douglas. He drives, has the shot blocked. They're going to call him for a player control foul.
Looked like he got lost in there trying to go in with the big guys, and I was screened out for where the actual contact took place, but it was his coach over there consulting, actually explaining the difference on what he should have done. But you know that's a tough one for Lourdes, because Lourdes really looked to have something set up inside there.
So that'll be his first foul. It's a Lourdes 2-point lead, 13-11, 11:30 to go here in the first half. Widener backs it back out. We'll give it up to Martin. Go back over. Bettner back in the ball game. Here's a shot. Fadeaway jump shot. Good. Widener with 7 first half points for Indiana Wesleyan. And the Wildcats have tied it at 13. 11:05 to go here in the first half. Man-to-man defense being played by Indiana Wesleyan. This is Davis, goes to the basket, and he pulls up and scores. Player was knocked down, but no call was made, so Alex Davis' basket will stand, and it's 15-13 Lourdes. Gray Wolves 2-point lead. Drive, cross-court pass, in the corner it goes. Indiana Wesleyan throwing the ball around the perimeter, trying to do inside, can't, so Widener will not pull up, miss his jump shot, and the Gray Wolves pull down the board. It's Mason that gets the rebound for Lourdes University. 15-13, Gray Wolves by 2. 10:15 to go in the first half. Mason holds the ball high, top of the key, now goes right side to Butler. Shot for three, left side short, but a perfect rebound. Back up and in, and Inique Mason was left alone on the boards, and that was about as easy rebound putback as you're going to see.
Yeah, and the bench is not going to be happy with that. They've got a 2-3 zone just to prevent that from happening, and they still got an easy shot out of it.
Here's a shot for three. That's up. No good by Indiana Wesleyan. Long rebound comes down, and it's Bettinger that gets it for the Wildcats. Weiner drives. Nice pass inside. Shot is up and in by Aaron Martin. Good look by Weiner going to the basket. Martin pulls the Wildcats to within 2 at 17-15. Not really a lot of jitters in this game, are there, Perry?
You called it. You said you didn't think there would be a lot of apprehension going into it.
Baseline, drive, kick out, and an interception. Stolen by Bettinger. He drives down court. Gets trapped, but gets out of the trap, crosses the midcourt line. 17-15, Indiana Wesleyan trailing by 2, but with the ball. Cross-court pass to Martin. Martin goes down on the baseline. Back out. Martin, eye to 3, passed it up, then will pull up. Pass inside, shot off the glass in by Taylor John. Nice hook shot by the senior. Ties the game at 17 as Indiana Wesleyan now on a 4-0 run. 8:40 to go first half. Davis over to Butler. Right side Dukes. Cross court in the corner. Now inside. Mason travels with the basketball, trying to pivot, and credit the defense that time of Patrick Stauffer, who got in there and just prevented Mason from getting to where he wanted to.
And then he tried to rotate, but every time he rotated, they were there with him, and that's the kind of defensive output they were looking for on that last possession as well. So really stepping up, getting the job done that time, and now they have a chance to take the lead.
All the score, 8:15 to go here in the first half. Indiana Wesleyan looking to retake the lead. Down low, shot will go in by Patrick Hopkins. He gets his first field goal. Nice ball movement at that time by Indiana Wesleyan. 8 minutes to go first half. 19-17 the score. Outside Davis, he drives to the basket. His shot was blocked by Hopkins. And here comes Indiana Wesleyan looking to extend the lead. Down the left sideline, Bettinger gives it off. Bounce pass, baseline jump shot up. In and out, no good. And it's the Gray Wolves with the rebound as Dukes comes down with it. $7:29 to go first half. 19-17 is the score. Gray Wolves have the ball in the corner. Going back up top. Quick pass in on the baseline, but Indiana Wesleyan does a good job of stopping that, so they go to Fleuryman in the corner. He knocks it down. Could barely see Remy Fleuryman in the corner, but he had a good look at the basket, and Lourdes back in front, 20-19. 7 minutes to go first half. Jones gives it up. Inside, Hopkins loses it, then Jones gets it, shoots and scores. Might even been some contact. But George Jones, the fourth, will get the basket, and Indiana Wesleyan back in front, 21-20. Gray Wolves basketball. I mentioned Lourdes in their first ever national tournament last year. Lost in the first round to Oregon Tech, but gave the eventual national champions a good game, losing by only 9. Drive, shot, missed, blocked out of bounds, and Lourdes will take it. Indiana Wesleyan's first appearance in the tournament was 2007. And until last year's tournament, every year they'd been in the tournament, they got to the quarterfinals but could not get by that point. Last year they were upset in the first round in overtime by Warner Pacific. But in their previous 5 appearances, they had made it to the quarterfinals. Butler off the inbounds pass, knocks it down, and Lourdes back in front, 22-21. Six minutes to go, first half. Down low, kick outside. Bettinger thinks about it, but then it gives it up to Weiner. Weiner, low pass, but it is picked up by Jones. Shot clock down to 12. Indiana Wesleyan's going to retool. Weiner's probably just going to take this himself. And he gets fouled. One of those fouls, and it's going to be on Sutherland. That Perry just didn't get to the spot in time he wanted to stop the drive by Weiner.
No, and they're letting them be a little bit physical, but a big bump like that out the point, you've got to call.
That's one of those that we see it sitting over here, and we just want to know which official's going to call it. And they did catch it. 22-21, 5:35 to go here in the first half. Lourdes on top, Indiana Wesleyan. And if you're just tuning in for the first time, this has kind of been the tenor of this tournament so far. Very competitive ball game. Indiana Wesleyan's going to end up breaking down the defense, but a nice recovery as it looked like the Wildcats were going to get a layup, but Corey Harvey recovers and knocks that ball out of bounds.
And they had come up and had a trap over on the right wing. And then once the pass came out of that, recovered back towards the basket, were able to swat it away.
Timeout called on the court. 5:21 to go in the first half. Our score, the Lourdes University Gray Wolves 22 and Indiana Wesleyan University's Wildcats 21. 5:21 to go here in the first half. Keep playing, keep learning, keep growing. Game on. Learn more about opportunities to play in the NAIA at NAIA.org. What we've been talking about yesterday, and if you didn't get a chance to see any of the action yesterday, we probably ought to update you on what happened. Morning game went into overtime. I won't make any comparisons for this game to that game, but just know the first game of the morning yesterday did go overtime. And our first upset of the day, and that kind of set the whole tenor of the day, York, Nebraska, in their first ever tournament appearance, although they'd been on this court many times as members of the MCAC conference where College of the Ozarks also plays. York picked up a 78-77 overtime win over Davenport. Another upset in the second game is Midland from the GPAC. Very impressive over number 8 Eastern Oregon. Eastern Oregon had a very tough shooting day, and it was Eastern Oregon losing to Midland 77-53. Another upset in the noon game is Bethel, Indiana over Embry-Riddle, the 16th seed, 73-49. And then the number 1 seed won, but boy, they were taken to the wire by McPherson, 71-65. On the inbounds pass, the shot by George Jones, the fourth, will go. His second basket, he has 4 points, and Indiana Wesleyan pops back in front, 23-22. We'll go over the rest of the bracket from yesterday at our next opportunity. Right now it's 23-22 Indiana Wesleyan. Lourdes with the basketball, down 1. 5 minutes to go, first half. Butler kicks it back outside. This is Florima. Bounce pass to Harvey, who fires up a three. Tell you, that one looked off bounds, but still almost went in. No good on the shot, Indiana Wesleyan basketball. Bettinger. Left side it goes. Now down low it goes. Hopkins tries to post up. Double team. Kick out. Shot is up and in. And that is the second time that Hopkins has set up Aaron Martin with a three based on the fact that he got double teamed inside, found an open teammate outside.
Well, that's so key. You know somebody's going to be open when you get doubled. It's finding the right person, and both times he's been able to do that. 26-22, Indiana Wesleyan now with a 4-point lead. This is their biggest lead of the ball game. There's been a lot of big leads by either team as this game has been very competitive. Here's a shot, no good. Harvey tips the rebound out off the miss by Sutherland, but it's Indiana Wesleyan. Hopkins down court for the layup, no good, but he's fouled, and that foul's going to go on Darrell Sutherland. And that was just Hopkins getting behind the defense that time and basically forcing the foul, which is the second on Sutherland. And it was. He did a nice job of hustling down. You got to appreciate when your big guys are going to run the floor like that.
So Hopkins at the line shooting free throws as a team. Indiana Wesleyan, pretty good at the line, 72%. First free throw here is good as Hopkins with 4 points. Hopkins just under 67% from the line, but knocks down the first one here. I don't know what if it's just me, but it's just the way the games went yesterday, and we'll have to admit a confession here on the NAIA website. When the home team wins, we're a little happier. Of course, we cover College of the Ozarks on a regular basis, and they did win last night. We'll talk about that later. But overall, the games were very, very good yesterday. Hopkins just missed fire on the second one. And actually, we were looking at today's matchup as possibly being some of the better matchups of the tournament. So we'll also go over that schedule for you as we go through the day. It's 27-22 Indiana Wesleyan in front. Lourdes basketball. Down to 3:40 to go here in the first half. Shovel pass inside. Shot will be no good, but a foul will be called as Enrique Mason gets to the hole and will get a couple of free throws.
Now, Scott Forima checked out during that last break, but look at his stats on the year. He had, from three-point on the year, was shooting 24%. He's hit 3 of them already here in the first half.
And, I mean, they all look good.
Yeah,
I mean, they just look like they were nothing but net. And
has only hit 12 of them all season coming into the game.
First free throw good by Mason. About 70% free throw shooting for Lourdes as a team. Second free throw by Mason, who shoots right at 70%. Is no good, but he'll get another shot at it as Indiana Wesleyan's Aaron Martin got in the lane early. 27-23. The Indiana Wesleyan lead is down to 4. 3:37 to go here in the first half. And he'll misfire on that one. The rebound, though, tipped right back to him. And so Indiana Wesleyan not able to clear the rebound, and Lourdes has another shot at it. 3:30 to go first half. They are down by 4. Gray Wolves basketball. Butler has it, shovels it inside. Mason has it again, back out to the free throw line. Shot knocked down by Ron Dukes. His first basket of the game, and Lourdes gets the backdoor 3-point play and has cut the lead to 2, 27-25. Coming up on 3 minutes to go in a very exciting first half. Indiana Wesleyan, pull-up jumper for 3. That one is no good. And the board on the Martin miss brought down by Butler. So now Lourdes, again, shooting for the tie or the lead as we're under 3 to play first half. Butler to midcourt, top of the key. He drives, kicks outside. Baseline, passing up the 3 and again going cross court. And they're going to decide to reset. I think a couple players thought about shooting, but not being sure, though, just reset and take all the shot clock they can. Down to 10 seconds to shoot on this possession. Here's a 17-footer. Down on the baseline. Good. Ron Dukes has tied the game at 27. 2:25 to go first half. Would here we go again be an appropriate term now?
It's starting to sound that way.
Widener keeps it outside. Jones has it. In the corner. Kicks it back out. Jones will get it back. 2:07 to go, 17 to shoot in the first half. Drive to the basket. Jones is left alone, almost gets it to go, but Lourdes recovers late and actually helps alter the shot and gets the rebound. Now the Gray Wolves with a chance to take the lead. 1:50 to go first half. 27 all. Butler gets it outside. Gets it back from Dukes. Now they'll hand it to Davis. Shot clock down to 10 again. Davis wants to drive. Has to kick it out. Another drive. Pull-up jumper, 15. No good. Rebound. Goes down to the Gray Wolves. They can't make the rebound shot, but then the Gray Wolves get the long rebound, and they'll get to set it up again. Now 1:17 to go first half. Tied at 27. Jordan Widener screaming at his teammates, make sure to rebound next time. Gray Wolves with the basketball, 16 to shoot, exactly a minute to go first half. In the corner, back out, here's a jump shot just inside the arc, good by Ron Dukes. He's made 3 in a row, and it's now 29-27 Lourdes.
And he is really feeling it since he came into this game.
Widener outside around the perimeter, they get it to Martin. Martin off a screen, they'll go left side, now Widener has it. Widener drives to the basket, kick back out, shot for 3 and the lead, yes! Count it for George Jones IV. He now has 7, and it's 30-29 Indiana Wesleyan. I'm not sure I want to give you this game in the second half. This is exciting.
Lourdes with the final shot of the half here. They will start the second half with the ball as well.
Clock down to 16 seconds. Butler goes inside. They'll kick it back out. Clock down to 8 seconds. Here's a shot for 3, top of the key, no good. Tip in, no good. Rebound, put back will be almost good by Harvey as he rolled it around, throwing it up, couldn't get it to fall, but a very entertaining first half. Just what you like in an 8:30 in the morning game. A lot of action on both teams ready to play, and what a great game we've had so far. Indiana Wesleyan, though, does have the lead at halftime over Lourdes, 30-29. And Perry, I mean, what can you say about the first half, except that both teams definitely look like they're ready to play, and this is a game where you know both teams are playing like the fact they belong where they are, and they're certainly playing like it here in the first half.
Well, they are exciting, well-played basketball games so far on both sides of the court. The people that got out of bed early and came in here are really have really been treated to some good basketball here in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, they didn't have to, but they did, and they were good, and they're here and enjoying the game here in the first half. Indiana Wesleyan is shooting 55% from the field in the first half, just under 55%, 12 of 22. Lourdes is shooting a very respectable 46%, 12 of 26. Lourdes 50% from three-point range. They've made 4 of them. Indiana Wesleyan with 3 threes in the first half. Rebounds, actually, Lourdes all over the board, 16-8. Whoa, pretty high advantage there. And both teams have done a pretty good job of taking care of the ball. 5 turnovers for Lourdes, just 3 for Indiana Wesleyan in the first half. Aaron Martin with 8 leads Indiana Wesleyan, 7 apiece for Jordan Winder and George Jones IV. 4 for Patrick Hopkins and a basket each for DJ Bettinger and Taylor Schoen. 9 for Remy Florima. Remy Florima leads them in scoring, actually leads all scorings in the ball game, leads Lourdes University. 6 for Ron Dukes, 5 apiece for Corey Harvey. Unique Mason each also with 5. And then 2 apiece for Evan Butler and Alex Davis. And our halftime score, and a very entertaining here at the College of the Ozarks Keto Athletic Complex. Indiana Wesleyan 30 and Lourdes University 29. We're going to step aside for a few minutes, and then we are back with more coverage of this national championship. We said we've got 7 more games on the day, and we'll go over that schedule plus recap the rest of the bracket from last night when we come back in a bit with more coverage of the National Basketball Championships. You're listening to coverage of the NAIA Division II Men's National Basketball Championship presented by the NAIA and New Lion. Second half coming up next. Back at the NAIA Division II Men's National Basketball Championship, as Indiana Wesleyan leads Lourdes at halftime 30-29. Before we start the second half, earlier in the game where we recapped the winners from the early session yesterday, William Penn, Bethel, York, and Midland, the evening session last night. Southern Oregon with an upset over number 14 Madonna, 83-66. Indiana Southeast, the 11th seed, held on to take out Valley City State 75-72. The big upset of the night happened was the host team, College of the Ozarks, rallying from 10 down in the second half to knock out number 3 Northwood 57-49. And then the last game of the night, really maybe the most convincing win of the day, St. Xavier. Not a lot of people saw it at the end, but St. Xavier looked pretty impressive last night in their win over St. Mary of Kansas, 82-60. St. Xavier is the 6th seed in the tournament. Okay, I've delayed it long enough. Exciting first half. Scott McCauley here with you from the Keeter Athletic Complex, and here to give you the second half, Perry Phillips.
Lourdes by 1. We'll start with basketball. Work right side, Sutherland with it. Pop out in between the circles now, Florima. Florima thought about going left and said throws it right side. Right now, Lourdes just working the ball around the perimeter, looking for something to pop open inside or an open look from 3. They've held the ball for about 25 seconds on the drive now. A little tough runner with the left hand, rolls off no good. Indiana Wesleyan able to clear the rebound. So now it'll be the Wildcats with their first offensive possession here of the second half, up by 1. That's why the hands of Widener. Inside shot is actually going to go out of bounds off of Lourdes. It'll stay here with Indiana Wesleyan. They were working, trying to throw the ball inside with that backdoor cut. Long inbound pass is made and thrown into Bettinger. They work over along the baseline, throws it back outside, now swings it back up top in between the circles. Vandewater with it, now into the hands of Bettinger. He's going to have to force up a 3 at the shot clock. He does able to draw just a little bit of iron, no good, but a nice defensive possession to start the second half for the Gray Wolves.
You know, Perry, and this is what's been interesting about this game. You know, as intense as it's not been bad offense, good defense, or vice versa. It's been, frankly, players making plays on both sides of the ball, and sometimes it gets some very good either defense or even some good offense on their part.
Drive along the baseline, shot by Davis was no good. At the other end, almost the exact same kind of a shot, another baseline drive, shot no good. So we have played almost 2 minutes here in the second half, and we're still at 30-29 in favor of Indiana Wesleyan. Setting up over on the right wing. This is Butler with it. Butler throws in between the circles now to Davis. Davis wanting to get the ball to Florima and is able to do so over on the left wing. Bounce pass just inside the arc to Harvey. Harvey with the right hand. Tries to go around the baseline. Takes a shot off the backboard and good.
Harvey gets a nice shot there. Perry, one other thing I just noticed is in the first half we had a total of 8 fouls called.
Wow.
Neither team got to the bonus in the first half, and so very well and clean played in the first half.
Ball inside shot is going to be good and a foul. Hopkins gets credit for the basket there, but that is another sign of Widener doing a nice job of drawing the defense to him with his ability to drive and then dishing off to the open man.
Yeah, and I've been impressed with both of those. And what happens a lot of times is you get a player that is very good at one and maybe not so good at the other, whether it's distributing or whether it's shooting, as Hopkins does miss the free throw. But he has done a good job of realizing when he's the guy, he takes it. But when he's not the guy and he's defending, he's very, very confident to get to one of his teammates as he did to Hopkins that time.
Free throw no good. It's 32-31 still. But that field goal did give Indiana Wesleyan the lead back. There's a foul away from the basketball.
Well, actually, it was on the
drive.
Oh,
it's on the ball, okay.
It was on the ball, even though it's still going to be an out-of-bounds play, but it was on the drive, and I think it was Butler that was driving inside, and they reached in as he was going towards the basket.
Yeah, he was pointing down with a hacking time, and I thought he was pointing to the other side of the floor was the official when he made the call. 32-31, still Indiana Wesleyan in front. Each team has been called for a foul now here in the second half. Florima with it in front of the bench. Cross-court pass. Now he gets it back. Thought about a 3. Now he dribbles. Stops at the free throw line. Gives it up along the baseline. Shot is going to be strong. No good. Tip will not go. Lourdes able to save it. Throw it out to throw it off of an Indiana Wesleyan player to keep possession of the ball.
I'm not sure I've ever seen that before. Did you see what the trajectory of the ball took? He literally threw that. It went over the backboard, and then he saved it off an Indiana Wesleyan player. I'm not sure I've ever seen that before.
So Lourdes gets another crack at it, down by 1. Baseline drive is cut off at the free throw line. Jump shot with the right hand is going to be no good. Rebound tipped out of bounds. It goes over to the Wildcats.
And that's I know they were trying to get the ball back out. Sutherland decided to take the shot. That might have been a time he might have been better kicking it out because he was almost 1-on-3. And what made it worse is that if you don't make the shot, there was absolutely no rebounding help inside.
Indiana Wesleyan gets the ball across the timeline, gets a little bit of pressure. Now they'll throw it back out and completely set up the offense. Bettinger with it, gives it up for a second, now gets it back, throws it underneath along the baseline. Shot too strong, no good. Lourdes able to clear the rebound as Harvey got up and pulled it down. Hands it off. Florima walks the ball up the court. 16-19 left to go in the ball game. 32-31. Indiana Wesleyan in front. Florima dribbles along the outside. Now they start to work it around the perimeter. Gets it right in front of the bench. He wants to look at another three. Going to be short, no good. Rebound is tipped, but an over the back call. And a good call because the position inside was gained there by Schoen.
Yeah, Taylor Schoen had just completely blocked out that play. It left no opening for Sutherland. That is his third foul. So he is heading to the bench. Florima also will take a rest right now as they'll bring back in Anique Mason, who had some very good minutes in the first half coming off the bench. Talton also coming off the bench now for the Gray Wolves.
$15:58 left to go in the ball game now. Indiana Wesleyan with the ball and that 1-point lead. Widener with it, able to throw it to the left side. Jones, the fourth, on the drive, kicked it back outside. Nice ball movement right now by the Wildcats. Inside shot is no good, but a whistle and a foul, and Hopkins will go to the free throw line.
That's just Hopkins again wanting the position, getting inside, and having made up his mind, he knew he had the angle to get in and draw a foul on Anique Mason. So now free throws coming up for Indiana Wesleyan. They lead at 32-31, just over 4 minutes into the second half. No, Perry talked about this Indiana Wesleyan ball club until last year. What a history they had in the tournament. In 4 and 5 years, they've been in the quarterfinals 4 times in this tournament, but that is just the place. They never could get over the hump. Twice eliminated by the home team, College of the Ozarks, in that quarterfinal round, and a team that has a good history. They did lose in the first round last year, but certainly know how to play in this tournament.
They do. They hit free throws there, 2 of them. Lead up to 3 now, 34-31. Under 15 and a half to play. Lourdes right now, ball works around the total perimeter, out about 26 feet away from the basket, and a foul sends us the other way. Offensive foul is whistled against Dukes.
I'll be honest with you, I didn't see Dukes. I'm not exactly sure what he did, but the official was right in front. He was very emphatic, so it must have been pretty obvious that he threw an illegal screen there.
Yeah, threw a hard block down when he was explaining the foul. 3-point shot, no good, but an offensive rebound. Martin kept control of it. And now they'll set up a regular half-court offense. Will Indiana Wesleyan? It's almost like a free possession. Bounce pass, gets the ball in the hands of Widener. Widener dribbled down to the corner, throws it inside. Backing down his man. Shot with the left hand was Hopkins, no good. And this time, the Lourdes defense had good position inside, not only to contest the shot, but to get the rebound.
34-31, Indiana Wesleyan on top as they tried to extend the lead. Neither team's really been able to get much of a lead in this ball game.
Pass inside, fumbled around for a second, but then it is Mason going to draw contact before he can get a shot up.
Very fortunate for the Gray Wolves right there, because they were about to turn the ball back over as they had really been in a situation where it looked like they were going to have a possession inside with Mason, but he fumbled the ball, and just as he was trying to get the ball to a teammate, he got fouled, and we'll have 2 free throws.
Yep, so they're going to say it was in the act of shooting, so 2 free throws coming up here. His team right now down by 3. Takes his time on it, and is a little bit long.
winner of this game, by the way, will play the winner of our next game. I tell you what, I'm kind of looking forward to this one, too. The Dordt Defenders, who got to the quarterfinals here last year, they're the number 10 seed, taking on Northwest of Washington, team that's always played well, especially in the early rounds of this tournament.
Boy, remember, Dordt brought a crowd with them last year.
Oh, yes. Yeah, probably one of the wildest games. And you called the game, I think, last year on one of our network stations with that game between them and McPherson, and
yes.
McPherson rallied to win. One of the best games we've seen here in some time.
Ball is stolen, pass too hard to handle, so now Lourdes only down by 2, can tie it up or even take the lead if they can hit a long one here. We'll see what they try to pull out with their offense. Right now they're looking to establish Mason down low, wanting to get the ball to him, but right now the Indiana Wesleyan defense able to keep it from happening. They go to the other side, however. They do get it down low to Tolton, and Tolton gets the tie.
Boy, he just kind of get in there, but we're going to have almost a dunk and a nice block at the other end, and back the other way we go.
Talk about defense recovering for what looked to be a bad situation. They drop down, not only prevent that dunk, but they able to get a steal, and now here comes Lourdes looking for the lead. Bounce pass over to the left side. This is Tolton with it again. He scored just a few minutes ago. Dukes with it over into the corner. This is Davis. Ball worked around the perimeter into the lane. Jump stop shot, no good. And the carom comes out, and now it's Indiana Wesleyan going to the other end, trying to regain the advantage.
You know, I really thought he might have been better going straight to the baseline that time. He had more of an opening, as they're going to call a foul on a attempted shot by Hopkins at the other end. Not sure he saw it in time. He decided to go through the middle instead of going right to the baseline and dribbled it right into traffic. Good job by Indiana Wesleyan recognizing that and closing in on them quickly.
And it did. So now free throws with a chance for the Wildcats to regain the lead. 13-19 left to go in the ball game. 34 for Indiana Wesleyan, 13 for Lourdes, and it'll stay that way at least after the first free throw.
Again, Indiana Wesleyan is the 13th seed. And again, seeds have been an endangered species in this championship, as 5 of the 8 seeds lost in the first round. And timeout's going to be called by Indiana Wesleyan after Hopkins makes the second free throw. He has 9, 35-34. Indiana Wesleyan with the lead, as we are down to the final 13-19 to go in this opening round game of day 2 of the national championship. Student athletes come first in the NAIA. Their needs, desires, and ambitions guide their every decision. They are the inspiration that drives to make character a core component and benefit of all intercollegiate sports. Register to get in the game at playnaia.org. Division II National Championships, day number 2 here at the College of the Ozarks. Of course, quarterfinal games will be Saturday. Second round games tomorrow. Let's give you the rest of the schedule here today. We mentioned the winner of this game will play either Dordt or Northwest. Another matchup I'm really looking forward to, a team we're familiar with, Perry Bellevue, who plays in the Midlands Collegiate Athletic Conference, that is the same conference that C of O is in, the host school here. They will play number 15, Rochester. Rochester, believe it or not, has already won a national championship. They won the, and pardon me, I cannot remember the name of the association, but they have one of those double enrolled teams, and they won a championship at that level after their conference tournament. So they went right from that tournament to come here to the NAIA Division II National Championships, their first year as a member of Division II, and they make the tournament. Rochester will play against Bellevue. That'll be the 1:45 game, and that'll complete the day session. Quick check of the evening session. 4 o'clock, Tennessee Wesleyan, the 13th seed, against Grace, who also plays in the same conference as Indiana Wesleyan here. Then at 5:45, St. Thomas of Florida against number 12, Mount Mercy. The 7:30 game, the Northwestern Red Raiders, the number 4 seed, against Cal Maritime. The late game tonight, number 5, Warner Pacific against Dakota State.
Well, after the one free throw a little bit ago, Indiana Wesleyan with a 1-point advantage, though Lourdes with the basketball. Trying to get the ball down low. They're able to do it along the baseline. Contested shot, no good. And Indiana Wesleyan able to come away with it briefly. It's stolen, drive to the basket, blocking foul, and the shot is good, but we have an injury. Davis gets the shot to go. Some folks behind us don't like it, as you probably heard over my mic there.
think we all heard it over your mic there, and otherwise. I tell you what, and I got to admit, that was a pretty tough call, and here's why. Because the turnover occurred so quickly. What happened is Davis picked the ball off, and the player they called the foul on, Hopkins, he was the one, I think, that threw the interception.
That's what I was wondering.
But he was standing right there, so he basically just waited for him to get there. Now, that's not saying he didn't have any late movement. Not saying that didn't happen, but he certainly was there for a while. So I can understand why Indiana Wesleyan is a little upset about that.
And quite frankly, I couldn't see where his feet were. He was close to the circle as well. Not sure if he was in or out. Free throw is missed, but Lourdes gets the rebound. So now Lourdes up 36-35 with the basketball. Davis with it will set things up. Dribbles with the left hand, throws it over onto the right wing now. This is Dukes. Dukes back in between the circles now. Harvey over back to the right side, back to Davis. Davis drives baseline, shot no good. Rebound tipped out, long control by Indiana Wesleyan. Widener on the run, lays it up with the right hand, no good, but contact, and he'll go to the free throw line.
And here's two things that happened there. First off, again, Widener, as he's done often, had really made up his mind, really no other option. He was the one down there, but I think Corey Harvey that time was kind of thinking he might pull up, so he was a little late getting to the spot, and by the time he realized that Widener was going to go full tilt to the basket, he had no way he could get there in time, and he commits the foul.
And that first free throw rolls around and drops down.
I think you call that an around-the-world free throw.
You do.
That went about 4 or 5 times around before it dropped down, but we're tied the game at 36.
Widener with his first point of the second half after scoring 7 in the first 20 minutes. And he misses the second free throw. Rebound claimed by Lourdes, and we are tied at 36. 36, 12-15 left to go in the ball game. Lourdes with the basketball. Way out in between the circles, Butler dribbles over on the left wing now. Still 15 seconds left to shoot here for Lourdes. 12:02 on the clock. Oh, and this time he travels, and that was an easy one to call. That was indecision. He was traveling, going to throw the ball to the right. The defense jumped out, and he tried to switch in midstream, throw it back to the left, and could not do it quick enough without grabbing that pivot foot.
You know, but it was funny, Perry, because I was at that angle. The defense had jumped out, but I still think if he had just thrown the ball a little bit further outside, he'd have been okay. I think it startled him so much, he just had that momentary indecision that cost him.
So the score remains 36-36. Now Indiana Wesleyan with the ball, looking for the lead. Under 12 minutes left to play. Widener with it, out in between the circles. Throws it over on the left side to Jones. Underneath, battle for the loose ball. Lourdes comes away with it and calls timeout.
Yep, timeout Lourdes. So with 11:41 to go in the second half, Lourdes is going to take a 30-second timeout. We are tied at 36 here at the NAIA Division II Men's National Basketball Championships. Don't forget to check out some of the other great action going on at the NAIA National Championships. NAIA.org will get you more information. Division II Women's Basketball National Championship is available now. Men's and Women's Division I National Championships next week, starting, I guess, a week from yesterday. It'll be March 13th is when those championships will get underway. NAIA website can get you more information on that. It's always interesting because a lot of the schools, and it varies from year to year, Perry, but a lot of the schools that are in the tournament here at Point Lookout, a lot of them also qualify their women's teams for the tournament in Sioux City. So we get a lot of broadcasters like ourselves, and like I say, the host team of the tournament's College of the Ozarks, but the C of O women have been regulars at the Sioux City National Tournament for some time. And so basically we have to rely on our counterparts up in Sioux City to bring us the games to our local flagship station for the NAIA Men's Championships. They're KRZK Radio in Branson. And so, and of course, we have a lot of that going on for both tournaments, but it's an exciting time for all the schools involved.
And the ball is stolen here, though. Indiana Wesleyan on the drive, trying to take advantage of the turnover, and they get one to drop. It rolled around the rim and fell in for George Jones, the fourth. He's up to 9 on the game, and Indiana Wesleyan back in front, 38-36, 11-14 left to go in the game. Florima checked back in during that timeout. He throws a bounce pass down along the baseline. Mason trying to back his way out, could not get it, instead throws it back outside. And then a battle for a loose ball ends up going out of bounds off of Florima, the last one to touch it.
Well, and that is just a bad break for Lourdes because
it is.
That ball was going to be Indiana Wesleyan, and I don't think Florima saw the fact that Harvey had actually hit it off the Indiana Wesleyan player, so he got over there and tried to get it. I think he thought he could get it before it went out of bounds, and he just was too close to the sideline.
And we've seen some of that during this tournament. Back down, nice use of the body to get inside there for Hopkins. He's in double figures now with 11. It's 40-36, a 4-point advantage. And the way this game has gone, 4 points is a big lead.
It is, and I think this is a big, big situation for Lourdes right here. They have to have an answer of some sort right here.
And they're going to try to lob it inside again, and this time a foul underneath as Martin guarding just a little bit too close. One thing they've done differently on that time down the floor was instead of looking along the right side, the right block to lob it in, they went along the left block. And we're trying to establish themselves down low on that side. Inbound pass is good. Down by 4. Lourdes with it. Ball out on the perimeter. This is Harvey. Harvey was looking to bounce it down low into the hands of Davis, and Davis was fouled from behind.
Another mistime attempt to try to get the ball knocked away, and that's 2 quick fouls on Indiana Wesleyan, now up to 5 fouls. We already have more fouls in the second half than we did all the first half. Only 18 fouls called in the first half.
Shot off the amount, no good. And the rebound pulled down by Indiana Wesleyan, looking to add to their 4-point lead. Down to the corner. Nobody went out to guard him. Then Jones drives, shoots, scores.
And I think this is going to be a good timeout for Andre Smith. They really need one now because, and I think you pointed it out correctly a few moments ago, the way this game is going, right now 6 almost looks like 16 because the game has been so possession-oriented. It is still just a 2-possession lead for Indiana Wesleyan, but over the last 2 or 3 possessions, Lourdes has not seen any indication they can stop him right now, and that basket was so easy that Andre Smith had to call a timeout to get his team reorganized.
It's a 7-0 lead right now. At one time, Lourdes led it 36-35. Have not scored since, and 7 points put on the board by the Wildcats. A little bit different look in the last few minutes here for Lourdes, as they had been playing Mason for a while there down low with the big body, and he checks out. Bet a little bit more athletic team on the floor right now for the Gray Wolves.
Well, of course, Southern got into some foul trouble, and that's one of the reasons they had to probably play Mason a few more minutes than they would originally have liked to, but there's just not been a lot of options in that area. So we said it before for Lourdes, but I think it's really true this time. Lourdes needs an answer, because right now they're having trouble stopping Indiana Wesleyan. They're kind of getting their momentum going, and they're getting the Lourdes defense guessing, and they really have got, of course, besides finding a way to get a stop, they got to get a basket here and keep it right at this margin. Still plenty of time. There's still 10:09 to go, but you cannot let Indiana Wesleyan get too far out in front.
All right, let's see what they do. They will hustle the ball into the front court as Forima goes over to the left side. Popping out in between the circles. This is Butler with it. Now he dribbles over to the right. Davis in between the circles, left side. Florima for 3. It's in and out, no good. And the rebound is pulled down there by Indiana Wesleyan. They get the ball out across the half-court stripe. Widener will set things up as he dribbles over near midcourt, down to 9:42 left to play. Indiana Wesleyan with the 42-36 lead and the basketball. Widener now in front of his team's bench. Wanted to drive there. It was cut off. Pops it back outside. Still 12 seconds to shoot on the clock. Widener, he wants 3. Too far to the left, no good. Rebound tipped out of bounds. It will go over to Lourdes. So Lourdes gets one of those stops you're talking about.
And in that last possession, they really had a good offensive possession. Florima had a good look at it. He knocked those down in the first half. That one just rolled in and out. But Lourdes needs another possession just like that. Of course, just finishing it off this time. But that was a good set. They got the shot they needed, or at least got a shot they have a shot at to get, and just didn't get it to fall.
So Butler will set things up this time down for the Gray Wolves. In the lane, right side. On the drive, free throw line, kicks it back out Butler. Butler wanted to shoot, but it wasn't there, so they continue to run the offense. Davis on the drive, nice dish underneath. Shotgun to roll off the rim, and drop there for Sutherland. Sutherland's first points of the game. It's 42-38.
Sutherland again in some foul trouble, so he's not been in a lot here in this ball game, but made his presence felt that time.
So Indiana Wesley on the other end trying to answer, and there is an answer with a three-pointer. Three-pointer goes down for Martin. Double figures now with 11. It is 45-38. That advantage is now up to 7.
Their biggest of the game.
See if Lourdes will have another answer here. Driving along the baseline. Shot is going to be good, and a foul. That's taking it right along the baseline, and getting the score again was Sutherland.
Boy, and he really has made his presence felt in the last 2 possessions. And now has a chance to answer the 3 the old-fashioned way if he can knock down a free throw. Sutherland for the year, not great from the free throw line, only shooting 47%, 19 of 40. But needs to get a big one to drop here for Lourdes to get back that 3-point goal that Indiana Wesleyan made a moment ago.
But he will get the free throw. 5 points for Sutherland. It is 45-41. Big stretch there brought Lourdes back to within 4. Widener with it, able to dish it off on the drive. The shot was no good. That a pushing foul is going to send Hopkins to the line once again.
Andre Smith making an argument on the sideline, the Lourdes coach, for a traveling call, as Hopkins really made a strong move to the basket. He was far out, but he does have a pretty wide stride too, so even though walking certainly could have happened, it's also very easy to see why that might not have been a walking call at all. He might have just got there with that big stride. I'm sorry, Perry. Indiana Wesley starting to heat back up from the field, back up now to 51.5% for the game.
And 1 of 2 from the free throw line, but the rebound was tipped around a little bit, and Indiana Wesleyan able to keep control of it, so they get a chance to totally reset and try to add to this 5-point lead now under 8 minutes left to play. Down along the baseline, backing down, this is Jones, kicks it back outside, ball swung all the way from right over to the left side. Martin outside, 3-point shot by Jones is good. George Jones, the 4th, up to 14 points on the game. 49-41, the lead back up to 8.
And boy, does Lourdes pay dearly for not clearing the rebound out as Indiana Wesley knocks down a tray.
Double team away from the basket, getting close to a 5-second call, but he was able to get it into the hands of Harvey. Harvey now to Butler. Butler trying to come off a screen, and he'll reset everything, backs all the way out near midcourt, right in the middle of the floor. Drives towards the basket, has the ball knocked out of his hand, but it goes towards the basket. He gets credit for a score there. Does Butler.
Well, that's one I haven't seen in a while.
Butler, and wow. He has to count as an attempted shot since he got it to go, but he lost possession of the ball in the battle for trying to get it back. It just goes off the backboard and in.
That's the type of break Lourdes needed. In all seriousness, they needed to get a shot off there, and they got it. Now they're going to get a steal.
Lob inside and right. There is a steal, and it's Sutherland. Well, his presence has really been felt since he checked back into this ball game. On a drive, ball thrown almost away, but it is saved by Dukes. Dukes out to Butler. Butler for 3. Good!
Well, we know he meant to shoot that one, didn't he? And look what's happened. All of a sudden on that freak play, it got Lourdes going, and now Indiana Wesley needs a timeout. The Wildcats, starting with that freak shot by Davis, that's a 5-0 run. And it's cut the lead back down to 3, 49-46.
Well, think about it. You go on the lane and you figure if something like that one's going to fall, you might as well try one from out there. And really, he had a nice look at it because it was actually right in front, lined up with us for our broadcast position here. He just squared up, and that ball just looked good the whole way.
Yeah, it went in, and now it's Indiana Wesleyan that needs some help because they're taking a timeout, and I think a good timeout by Greg Tonigal to get the team settled down. I mean, you know, some of the things, sometimes momentum swings on freakish things, just like it did a moment ago when Indiana Wesleyan missed a free throw, but they got the rebound and hit a tray. So what was only going to be a 1 or 2 at the free throw line turned out to be a 4-point play. But basically, Lourdes has answered that now. And now got it back down to 49-46, 6:21 to go here in the second half. And again, you can kind of say that Lourdes may have answered the run by Indiana Wesleyan, but still it is the Wildcats with the 3-point lead.
Well, the crowd's starting to pick up here as we get a little bit later in the morning. The lower bowl here really getting closer and closer to full. The upper bowl starting to fill up as well as some of the school kids have made their way in. I see a Lourdes sign up there, and it's really neat if you've not been a part of how things go here at the national championships. Some of these elementary schools and stuff, they host the teams to practice, and they kind of adopt certain teams, and they come out during the morning session sometime to support them. 6:03 left to go, 12 seconds left on the shot clock. Indiana Wesleyan three-point shot is going to be no good. Ball is going to be saved, but right to Lourdes. Here comes Lourdes. They could actually tie this thing with a long one now. Sutherland throws up a shot, no good, but a blocking foul will send him to the line. It didn't look like the smoothest of transitions there, but right now Lourdes is just filling everything. He just caught it and threw it up at the basket as he was going to the hole.
He did, and Weiner just could not get in position in time to try to take the player control foul. So now, again, free throws coming up for Sutherland. We told you, not a great free throw shooter, but he did knock one down a moment ago. You know, that's the thing about free throw shooters that have lower percentages. You see them throw some up that you go, what in the world was going on? But then you look at the very next one, and it looks just smooth as glass.
That first one, as you can see there on NAIA.org, it was flat and a hurry to it, and then almost perfect form on the second one, and you nailed that and didn't even see the second free throw before you did it.
Boom.
49-48. We're down to, or 49-47, I'm sorry. We're down to a 2-point game. And Lourdes comes away with another turnover as they get another steal, and now they can tie it with just a regular field goal. A long one would actually give them the lead. But they're going to give the ball right back as a pass intended for Butler was just a little bit low. He took his eye off it, I believe, as well. And it's a dangerous combination. He lost it right to his coach.
Well, what happened, because there was a defender for Indiana Wesleyan nearby. He wasn't going to get the pass, but I think he had, maybe felt him in the back of him and took his eye off the ball. That was very costly. As you mentioned, Lourdes had a chance now.
So here goes Indiana Wesleyan now with the ball in a 2-point lead. A foul as Widener was trying to cut to the basket and catch the basketball. Both teams now in the bonus, so 1-1 coming up here.
And we didn't have a lot of free throws in the first half because neither team got to the bonus, but free throws certainly will look like it'll be a part of this game at 5:12 to go, and now both teams in the bonus and heading for the double bonus shortly. Lourdes already with 8 fouls here in the second half. Indiana Wesleyan just a few moments ago committed their 7th.
Widener going to go to the line. Now, this is a player, he's only scored 8 points, but safe to say he's impressed both of us with the way he's played this game, both with scoring, but really with the way he works to get other people involved. First free throw, though, is no good. 49-47 remains the score. We're down to 5:12 left to play in the ball game.
Has the points, also has 5 assists on the ball game, so that backs up that point. He does make the second one, so Weiner gets up to 9 points, and Indiana Wesleyan leads back to 3.
Widener is their leading scorer, averaging just about 17.5 points a game. Lob inside, just a little bit too strong as they had Davis in there. He was able to keep control of the basketball, though, and so it will stay with Lourdes. They just have to tick it back out and reset. Under 5 minutes left to play, 13 seconds left on the shot clock. Florima over on the left. Remember, he had those 3 early threes, but has not scored since. Here's a three-point attempt off the front of the rim. No good, but an offensive rebound keeps it with Lourdes. Fresh shot clock for them. Still 4:35 left to go in the game.
And that's why he threw that up, because the shot clock was under 5 when he took the shot.
Into the game, dribbling. This is Sutherland again. Sutherland over to the right side. Butler. Popping out is Florima. Now it's Davis. Spin move for Davis in the lane. Went right into a double team. Had to give it up. Here's a shot off the backboard. A little bit too strong. No good for Sutherland. He got a good look at it off that spin move.
Oh, wow.
Just couldn't get it to drop.
And a good move. He had a very good move there, and he just, I think, maybe anticipated contact and threw it up a little too hard.
50-47. Still a 3-point advantage for the Wildcats. They have the ball. Now we go under 4 minutes left to play. 15 seconds here on the shot clock. Nice pass underneath, but the ball is going to be lost out of bounds. They're going to say it's last touch, though, by Lourdes. And Indiana Wesleyan caught a break there as the pass was wide open underneath what should have been an easy layup. for Hopkins. He loses, and they're fortunate that it was touched by Lourdes before it went out of bounds.
Also, there, Indiana Wesleyan is fortunate, but so is Lourdes, because that was an easy layup. You're right.
Should have been. Shot clock close to expiring, and it doesn't matter anyway, as the illegal screen will be whistled here against Indiana Wesleyan, and we're going to go the other way.
Vanderwater just commits his third foul.
3:43 left to go in the ball game.
Yeah, and now both teams with 8 fouls, so well into the bonus and heading to the double bonus.
So, Lourdes with the ball in the front court again, down by 3. Butler with it, dribbling over on the left wing. Looking for something to pop open inside. Nothing's there. He'll dribble back in between the circles now and reset. Right side of the floor. Over on the wing is Florima. Down to 3:22 in the game. Down to 12 seconds on the shot clock. Florima picks up his dribble, has to get rid of it. Somebody, he does. A three-pointer shot by Butler, no good. And the rebound is cleared. Good position in there for Hopkins. So Indiana Wesleyan now with the basketball. 3-point lead. 3:02 left to go in the ball game. Shot clock just now down to 22. Down into the corner. Here's an open look at 3, and it is good. And it was a wide open look from the corner there for Bettinger. Bettinger just hammered it down home.
That was defensive breakdown right there. They just lost Bettinger as he went to the corner. And, I mean, he was wide open. Lourdes, the Gray Wolves completely forgot about him. And that may be the biggest shot of the ball game right now, because that puts Indiana Wesleyan up by 6 with 2:53 to go. And again, puts Lourdes University in a much-score situation.
And it was a nice job of finding him down there all alone. He had time to set up, planted his feet, and just hit the shots. That was a big one there for the Wildcats. 2:53 left to go in the ball game. 53-47. Indiana Wesleyan in front of Lourdes. And if the competition in this game is any kind of indication of what we're in store for on day 2, oh my, we thought we had some good ones day 1. This one is living up to every bit of that billing.
We've got this note about Lourdes University from Ryan, their sports information director, who's been feeding us some information. We do appreciate that. Highest ranked team that Lourdes has beaten in their short history, and again, they're only 3 years old, was 17th ranked Madonna, who was in their conference. Beat them earlier this year, 53-51. And, of course, the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference also has Davenport, who was a top 10 team this year, and has teams like Cornerstone, who's not here this year but has been in the rankings in the past. So some very good basketball played in that league, but they did get that victory. So Lourdes not only is trying to trek on ground of trying to win a national tournament game for the first time, but they're trying to beat the highest-ranked team they ever have. But now they find themselves down 6 with 2:40 to go.
Tried to cut into that. This is Davis. Throws a cross-court pass now. Looks inside. Shot is no good, but contact and a foul is going to send Harvey to the line. Harvey a little frustrated with himself that he couldn't get that shot to go. But again, he still has a chance if he can hit free throws to bring his team back to within 4.
And these free throws are critical right now. We mentioned the free throw percentages earlier, as Lourdes just under 70% coming in at the free throw line. They get the first one here from Harvey, which brings him up to 8 points. Indiana Wesleyan shoots just a little bit better from the free throw line. They're just under 72%.
One free throw still to go here. That's in and out, no good, and rebound is controlled by Hopkins for Indiana Wesleyan. Long pass down to Jones. Gave it up for a second, now gets it back, and after they wait on Widener to get across midcourt, he'll set things up with 2:22 left to play. 20 seconds left now on the shot clock. If you're Indiana Wesleyan here, you don't want to go into a stall game, but you do not mind running the clock just a little bit. Into the corner, Bettinger underneath, got Hopkins, and he took advantage of the position down low to get the score. 55-48, 7-point advantage. We go under 2 minutes left to play in the ball game. Lourdes out with Butler near midcourt, dribbles with his right hand, looks over to the right side and throws it to Florima. Florima tries to come off of a screen, but he's picked back up left side. Here's an open look at 3, and you can count it for Alex Davis. He has got 7. It is 55-51, 4-point advantage for Indiana Wesleyan, and a timeout on the floor with 1:43 left to play.
The NAIA believes character shouldn't be just confined to the campus. It's a very grassroots process, and as a result, one that speaks with authenticity and authority. Get your community involved in Champions of Character. Learn more at championsofcharacter.org. 55-51, Indiana Wesleyan with the lead here over Lourdes University. At 1:43 to go here in the second half. Scott McCauley along with Perry Phillips as we bring you the action of day 2 of the NAIA Division II Men's National Basketball Championship. Still first round games, and our full stable of announcers at it again. Matt Boss, who's the media coordinator of the Division II National Championship. He's going to have the call of the next game that will feature Northwest out of Washington. They are playing the 10th seeded Dordt Defenders. That'll start around 10:15, and again, looks to be on schedule for that right now. A little bit later on in the day, Don West will be here with Dave Beckett for the noon game between Jamestown and Cardinal. Stretch Mike McClure will be with us for the first time at 1:45. Perry will join him for the game between Rochester and Bellevue. And we'll have those games, then we'll have, of course, the evening session as well.
Long pass down and almost like a quarterback throwing into blanket coverage. The safety intercepts it for Lourdes, and now Lourdes only down by 4 with the basketball. Thinking about a 3, and now thinking better of is Davis. Instead, he goes down low to Harvey. Harvey with a spin move, shot no good. Offensive rebound to Sutherland. Sutherland loses the ball outside, but is able to get it into the hands of Butler. Butler's shot is good, just inside the arc. He's up to 9, but now we have a 55-53 ball game with 1:10 left to play.
And I think what happened on that one inbounds, I think it was the other comparison, is I think he expected the receiver to run one route, and he ran another and just threw it right to the other team. And so now Lourdes needs a good stop here, and they could get right back in it.
Down to 55 seconds left to play. Hopkins down low, kicks it back outside. Ball thrown inside and stolen by Lourdes. Lourdes on the run with 47 seconds left to go. Down by 2. Contact, ball lost out of bounds. Last touch by Indiana Wesleyan. 44.6 left to go in the ball game. 55-53. Indiana Wesleyan in front. 14.6 second differential in the shot clock and the game clock.
Yeah, and what makes that big is that if Lourdes takes over 10 seconds to run this play, then Indiana Wesleyan will have the ball last no matter what Lourdes does here.
And it looks like they are going to run their offense, so they are going to try to just go in, and they're willing to give Indiana Wesleyan the final shot if that needs to be the case. Down to 30 seconds left to play. Ball over to the right side, Davis. Davis on the drive, throws it up with the left hand. There's contact. He will be called for a foul on the floor, I believe.
But doesn't make any difference. That's the 10th team foul.
Okay, you're right.
So 2 free throws will be coming up for Lourdes.
And a chance to tie.
So a chance to tie, and it becomes critical here because regardless of what happens to the free throw line, Indiana Wesleyan has the ball last. Now, obviously, if he misses either or misses both of them, then Lourdes is in foul mode. But even if he makes them both, then Indiana Wesleyan will be in a situation where they will have the ball last. But they've struggled a little bit offensively the last couple of possessions. And I'll tell you what, credit Lourdes here, even though Indiana Wesleyan certainly did make a couple of mistakes. The Gray Wolves ended up with a great possession. And what happened there is they were trying to get players in the game. There were 2 fouls, so they got to wait.
Yeah. First free throw is good. That one's big. After 8, 55-54.
Davis, by the way, 83% from the line. So that's the person Lourdes wants to have on the line right here. One more on the way.
1 free throw left to go. We'll see if they'll play it or if they'll call a timeout before that final possession, too. A lot of coaches want to get to midcourt, then call the timeout. This free throw makes all the difference in how you play it. He made it. Davis with 9. We have a tie score, 55-55, 25 seconds left in. I'll say it for the first time, regulation. 20 seconds left to go. And this is exactly what I was talking about. Half-court timeout. Now they can set up a play with 19.2 left to go where they will inbound over on the sideline.
So the setup is here, 19.2 to go. Indiana Wesleyan 55, Lourdes 55. Might not do this just yet, But after this game, you can check out more exciting action of other NAIA National Championships by going to www.naia.org. Of course, the Women's National Championship underway in Sioux City, Iowa. Division I National Championships will be coming up next Wednesday. NAIA.org can get you more information on that. 55-55 is our score. As Lourdes, and even though, and let's face it, Indiana Wesleyan really had the game in their hands. They made a couple of mistakes, but Lourdes did cash in on them and now have got the game tied and certainly in position, to extend the game if they need to, but still a lot can happen in 19.2.
It's been an exciting ball game, and even though the score is only 55-55, by far the lowest scoring game of this tournament so far, it doesn't seem like we've had a lack of offense, really.
No, it's just been very good defense, and if you look at Lourdes, they only average 59 points a game, so this has definitely been a Lourdes
game. It's their style of golf. Yeah.
Indiana Wesleyan does average better at 72, but they're also a good defensive team, so really this type of game, even though it's maybe lower scoring for Indiana Wesleyan, not really out of character for either team.
All right, here we go. 19.2 left to go.
Just a note, arrow does favor Indiana Wesleyan.
And we'll see. Here they're going to set it up. Indiana Wesleyan with Bettinger within a half court. Left side, Widener down to 10. They're going to try to probably let him create. We'll see if he'll drive and shoot or drive and dish. He almost travels. Got rid of the ball, now got it back down to 4. 3. They're going to have to force something up here if they're going to get one off. They do force it up. No good, and we go to overtime. And let me tell you what, you need to credit the Lourdes defense there. They let Indiana Wesleyan do anything they wanted. And Florima came up awkwardly off of a defensive stand there and is really limping hard on his left leg. That's something to keep an eye on in overtime. And that is the case. Overtime we go again on the first game of the day. We did this yesterday. 55-55, we'll play an extra 5 minutes.
I can hear the folks at NAIA right now doing their best Donald Trump for us, saying, guys, you're fired.
Yeah, I can imagine.
You can't. If you can't keep a tournament on schedule, you're out of here. But
yeah, you talk about some other announcers. Some of our buddies will be here a little bit later today. I can already hear. I know they're going to have some words for me.
Yeah, well, me too, actually. Let me remind you that the Frey Student Athlete has a great ring to it. You can join 60,000 others who feel the same way. You'll never run out of room to grow on the court, in the classroom, and as a person. Learn more at NAIA.org. Well, in all seriousness, I don't think anybody's going to mind a little bit of lateness, especially if the basketball is this good. And again, all credit goes to Lourdes for taking advantage of some Indiana Wesleyan's miscues, which is certainly unusual for them, certainly what we've seen in this tournament. And now we're all square again as we get ready for overtime.
55-55. We put 5 minutes on the clock. And assuming one team scores more points in this 5-minute frame, at that time one team will advance to the next round and one team will see their season come to an end. We do get another jump ball. And the ball is in the air and is going to be tipped by Indiana Wesleyan but controlled by Lourdes. So Lourdes will get the first possession here of the second half. Florima is going to stay in the game. He had control of the basketball there for a minute. They are going to trap out away from the bat. Different defense we've seen so far from Indiana Wesleyan. The Lourdes able to beat it right now, and now they sink back in to that regular man-to-man defense that we've seen for much of this game. Out around midcourt, this is Butler, down to 8 seconds to shoot. Bounce pass down to the baseline. This is Harvey, down to 4 seconds to shoot. They've got to force one up. He does, and it's good. Harvey with a fall-away jumper just to make sure he got a shot up, and it ends up going home for him. 2-point lead for Lourdes, 57-55, 4:10 left to go in the ball game. 25 seconds on the shot clock here for Indiana Wesleyan. Dribbles over, thrown to the right side, into the hands. That was Martin. He gets it back, swings it back outside. Right now, Indiana Wesleyan, they work the ball all the way from the perimeter to the right, left. 3-point shot, short, no good. Lourdes clears the rebound, and now the Gray Wolves with a 2-point lead and the basketball. 3:45 left to go in overtime.
Well, we were at this point here, I'll say the same. This time for Indiana Wesleyan, very big possession for them to try to keep Lourdes off the board. give them a 2-possession lead. They can start getting some momentum and really make things tough for the Wildcats.
Florida threw it down along the baseline. Sutherland, nice dish. Shot, though, no good from Davis. And the Wildcats able to clear the rebound. Now they're on the run at the other end. There will be a foul, though, whistled on the floor.
You know, and I have to say this. I really think he tried to make a better play than he needed to. What he tried to do to avoid the defense was go back under the basket and trying to flip it back up. But what happened is if he goes straight to the basket, he might have an opportunity to get a foul, but in that he just didn't get enough on the shot, and now Indiana Wesleyan at the other end for free throws.
Well, and Nick, again, and, you know, the first one is good there. You know, Sutherland, if he has a man, maybe he'll take that shot because he did have a look at it, trying to be unselfish and get it to where maybe the easier shot was going to take place. Widener now in double figures with 10. One more free throw would tie it up, and he's able to do so. We are tied again at 57. 57 our score, 3:22 left to go in overtime. Florida walks it across midcourt, calls out the offensive set. Able to throw it over onto the left side now. This is Davis. Davis looking over that Indiana Wesleyan defense. Popping out the help now. Butler throws it right side back to Florida. Down to 18 seconds left to shoot. 3:04 left to go in overtime. Florida bounce pass inside to Sutherland. Sutherland trying to go one-on-one. Desso pump fake. Shot is blocked. Indiana Wesleyan has it on the run the other way and loses it out of bounds. The outlet pass was not as clean as they would have liked it. Widener could not control it and loses it over to the PA announcer and the scorebook keeper.
Well, and I think Widener, the pass was off the mark, but I think Widener also kind of looked up as he was trying to get control and look down the court. But really want to give kudos to Patrick Hopkins. He played excellent defense that time on that drive to the basket by Davis, and it was definitely, if you're looking at home, it was no way that was a foul. That was just a clean block right there.
Yeah, and the good thing is they have another foul on the floor here, free throws coming up, because I want to talk about the play you're talking about there. And it's one of those, and a lot of high school coaches talk about it over and over. Not only did he block it, but he blocked it without swatting it, so he was able to keep control of the basketball.
Here's another little fact, and again, when you have a program that's 3 years old, you have this. Lourdes is playing in their second ever overtime game.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting. We definitely thank him for those, for the tidbits we're getting.
2011 was the previous time, and again, as we mentioned, Lourdes is just a program that's in its third year of existence.
Davis free throw rolls in. He's in double figures with now 10. Scott talked about it a little ago about just how good of a free throw shooter he is. Here's the situation. One free throw still to go here for Davis. 58-57. Lourdes in front of Indiana Wesleyan. 2:43 left to go in overtime. Davis taking his time. Lets it fly. Second one is no good. So it's a 1-point advantage. 58-57 Lourdes. 2:38 left to play in overtime. Indiana Wesleyan in the front court, in between the circles. Now they throw it over to the left side. This is Jones. Bounce pass. They want to get it underneath, and they do so. Outside. Three-pointer is no good. Rebound tipped out of bounds. Last touch by Lourdes. That was a battle for it. Widener had a good look at it. Couldn't get it to go. And Lourdes actually had three people there going for the rebound against one for Indiana Wesleyan, but they couldn't control it.
I think that's Indiana Wesleyan's most dangerous offensive weapon is the throw in to Hopkins and the kick back out.
On the drive underneath, Jones wanted to go to the basket, but the nice defense was there and had to kick it back out and reset. Now remember, they got a fresh shot clock. After that ball was shot and then tipped out of bounds. Three-point shot from the corner, no good. Offensive rebound and putback is good. Hopkins had wonderful position inside and took advantage of it.
Boy, sure did, and just nothing that Lourdes could do about that. He was stationed in there and had the perfect position.
59-58, under 2 minutes left to play in the first overtime now. In between the circles, ball in now in the hands of Davis. Davis travels over to the left side, throws it down low into the hands of Sutherland. Sutherland, spin move, backs down. Shot is going to be good, but he traveled. And a lot of times when you make that many moves and you try to duck under and move so many times, it is so easy to move that pivot foot.
Yeah, and trying to, again, that was one thing I think that Sutherland had made up his mind what he was going to do. Nothing was going to change his mind, and he was going to do everything he can to get that shot up. And you said, and even if he not traveled, he was about to get a 3-second call, too, because he'd been in the lane for a while. So he had to try to do something. Now Indiana Wesleyan's going to take a timeout at 1:36 to go here in overtime as the Wildcats lead the Gray Wolves 59-58. 60,000 student athletes, close to 300 college campuses, 23 national championship events, and $450 million in athletic aid. Get in the game today at playnaia.org. This is the NAIA Division II Men's National Basketball Championship. We are down to 96 seconds to go in overtime. Indiana Wesleyan has grabbed a 59-58 lead. Lourdes had the first lead in overtime and a chance to extend it. Couldn't convert. Indiana Wesleyan has been able to surge ahead. And now we'll have the ball with that 1-point lead in the final 96 seconds, trying to finish it up and move on to the next round of the tournament. But a lot of action to go here in the final 90 seconds.
So Indiana Wesleyan with the basketball. They'll set it out to mid-court again. This is Widener with it. Coming out is Bettinger. Bettinger with it. 1:24 left to go. 17 on the shot clock. Gives it up, gets it right back. They're going down low. Hopkins, that's where they've lived lately. Hopkins backing down his man, gets inside and scores. And they really just don't have an answer for him down low right now.
No, they couldn't, and there was nothing they could do. Hopkins just got the position. Now Lourdes in a must-score situation.
It does not have to be a three, though, but it looks like they'll go just inside the arc and shoot one, and it is good for Harvey. He's up to 12. It's 61-59.
And that also gets a chance for Lourdes. I think what they wanted to do, Andre Smith wanted to try to maybe change it up inside so Anik Mason will come back in the ball game, as he'll try to match up with Hopkins as the clock stops just under a minute to go. 61-60, yes. Indiana Wesleyan maintains their 1-point lead here in overtime.
59.9, I think I did say 61-59. Of course, the basket was worth 2 points, not one. 61-60, 1-point game, 59.9. So all kind of strategy still to be played out here. Looking not only at how many possessions you have, but how much time you're going to use on that possession, as every second will be critical here for the rest of this ball game, because, again, we are at the national championships. One of you will advance, one of you will go home.
Okay, look at the clock right now. We've got basically a minute to go, just a tenth of a second under a minute. 35-second shot clock. So, again, Indiana Wesleyan can wind the clock down under 30 seconds before anything happens. Now, if you're Lourdes, and coaches look at this differently, and some, even down one in this thing, believe in fouling. Some believe in playing some defense. I mean, the way this game has gone, I mean, I'm really thinking for Lourdes and the kind of the way that they've played it, I think they're just going to play this out.
Oh,
Indiana
Wesleyan
will do the same. Because unless they hit a three, unless Indiana Wesleyan hits the three, it's still a one-possession game.
And that's exactly why you do it. I think in this situation, you have to just play defense. But they're going to go, and the shot's going to be blocked, knocked out of bounds, last touched by Lourdes. Well, they went to their man a little bit different as they let Hopkins go ahead and drive instead of just post up. He had his shot blocked out of bounds, and that would have been big if Lourdes could have got a hold of it. So Indiana Wesleyan, the shot clock will not reset. They inbound the ball, and they throw it way back outside to Jones, and we'll see if they won't end up trying to post up Hopkins here just a little bit after they run their set and get the ball over on the one side. Timeout, though, on the floor. They did not like what they were seeing out of the defense there. So Indiana Wesleyan takes a timeout. Situation is this now. 36.7 left to go. Still that same score, 61-60. Indiana Wesleyan in front. Shot clock sets at 12.
And what that means is this is the last shot clock possession here in the overtime period. And what it also means is this. If Indiana Wesleyan runs the clock down and gets a shot up and miss, Lourdes has got to get a rebound, because they don't, Indiana Wesleyan then can hold on to the ball and run out the clock, so then they have to foul. So they really have to be strong on the boards. The main thing, I think, is, and I'm not saying that Andre Smith's going to concede a two inside by any stretch of the imagination, but the one thing you don't want to have happen here is a three, because a three almost puts this one out of reach.
And here, if you're in Wesleyan, it doesn't matter. You don't necessarily need to run any more clock. You basically, if you're in Wesleyan, you just want to get in position to get a good shot up.
Get a good shot up, and again, make sure it's solid. And again, if you get a rebound, then you really put yourself in a great position, even just down or up by one.
And if they get the ball down low, to Hopkins, it's not the worst thing in the world to foul him as long as you don't let him make the basket. And I only say that because he's been able to beat you so much here in the last few minutes. Let's find out how we're going to play it. Indiana Wesleyan, 8 seconds to shoot. Widener with it over on the left side. Throws it back outside to Bittinger. 3 seconds left to shoot. Shot is no good. It's a 1-point game, and Lourdes can hold it for the final shot and either win it or go home.
And I think Andre Smith's going to take a timeout here. They're going to talk about this situation. So here we go, 16.4 to go. Now the coaching wheels start really spinning, and there are as many philosophies as there are teams in the country on this. If you're Lourdes, your options are, do you go ahead and hold it for the final shot, take your win, if you can get it, and just throw it all in the basket, or do you go ahead and take your first best shot and then maybe rely on your defense?
Well, I think if the easy shot is there, if you get a layup, you take it, even if it's a half a second into the possession. If not, you run your offense and you look for it. Now, if you use the philosophy that you're holding for the final shot, that doesn't mean you wait till a half a second and throw it up. You've got to allow yourself a time for a tip in if you miss.
Well, you made another point, too, and I think we tend to forget this sometimes, but, you assume that nothing is going to open up. If they get a gimme inside, it don't matter what the clock says. Yes, you're going to take the points.
And then play defense and try to – because even if you make a shot, let's say you only burn 3 seconds off the clock, if you have a 1-point lead with 13 seconds left to go, you're going to trust your defense that you're not going to let the other team go length of the court and score.
The main thing is you're not going to try for a long shot when you got an easy one under no matter what the clock says. So – but now, you also got to have a very good gauge on that. You can't take any chances inside.
Now, real quick, let's look at Indiana Wesleyan's point here. You got to play solid defense, and under no circumstances do you foul.
Yeah, that's right. Both teams in the double bonus now in the final 16.4.
Here we go. Inbound pass coming up from Florima. Having trouble getting it in. He does get it in. He does not get it back. It looks like they drive straight to the basket. Shoot, no good. Tip in. Will not go. They got another rebound. It won't go. Tip out again. Florima gets it. His shot is no good. Down to 4 seconds left to go, and we now have a foul. 4 shots at the basket. Could not get it to go. And then a foul on the rebound with 3.3 left to play. This game is not over.
Well, and I think what happened there for Lourdes is I think because they got to the basket so quick, they thought that the clock was about to run out. They still, when Florima took the shot, they still had 8 seconds to go. They had plenty of time to back it back out. They're going to lose Harvey here to fouls as he's just fouled out of the ball game.
Well, they're looking at Florima too, but of the tips and the second attempts, he actually had the best look at it because he did a little bit of runner. Everybody else, like you said, was doing a quick tip thing instead of trying to rebound the ball.
Yeah, and again, that's a situation where sometimes they got to the basket so quick that I think they wanted to try to cash it in when they could. But still 3.3, there's still a lot can happen.
Even with 2 free throws, it's a one-possession game. 3.3 left to go, 61-60. Here's Hopkins on the line already with 18 points, and he misses the first one. That was big. 1 free throw still to come here. Second one, this one is good. He's got 19, 62-60. Inbound pass, Florima gets it. It's going to have a decent look at it. Throws it up. It's no good, but he was fouled. 0.1 left to go. He was fouled. A huge inbound pass, Scott, out near midcourt, so the clock did not start till he got it. Gave him a chance to get all the way to the rim, and he drew the contact.
All right, Florima goes to the line. He shoots 68% for the season. And now, it's really no other option here. You either make the free throws or you lose.
That's right. 2 big free throws with 0.1. Trying to send us to double overtime if he can make both of them. First free throw is no good. It is no good. And actually, I'm surprised Indiana Wesleyan is not clearing the lane here. Second free throw, no good. Ball out of bounds, and the game is over. And what a ball game it was as Indiana Wesleyan survives and wins at 62-60.